told in our everyday language what the function was of specific infrastructure on the Earth, which was arranged as a circuit board for the once free energy generating electromagnetic grid system of the ancient advanced civilization all over the surface of the Earth, and which I believe existed up until recent times. We are still using much of the enduring and sophisticated infrastructure of this advanced civilization in the present day. My name is Michelle Gibson. What is a circuit board? A circuit board is a physical piece of technology that allows for the assembly of electrical circuits or data circuits on a horizontal layer of material. I think the existence of the original civilization was destroyed by a deliberately caused cataclysm within the last couple of hundred years, and most of this incredible infrastructure it constructed has been deliberately destroyed ever since then, into the present day. Here are a few of many examples of demolished monumental architecture in New York City alone. The Gallender Building, said to have been completed in 1897 and destroyed in 1910, only 13 years later. A version of Madison Square Garden without a completion date that was demolished in 1926. The historic Hotel Astor in our historical narrative stood for only 63 years, between 1904 and 1967, before it was demolished and replaced by a high-rise. All three of these buildings in Manhattan were demolished, with the Singer Building, the headquarters of the Singer Manufacturing Company, said to have been completed in 1908 and demolished in 1968, along with the City Investing Tower the same year, and the Hudson Terminal Rail Station, demolished at some point after closing in 1971. As well as the Brooklyn Savings Bank, said to have been completed in 1894 and demolished in 1964. By the way, what do banks deal in? Currency. What is currency defined as? A system of money in general use in a particular country. What is a river current? A river current is defined as the water moving in a river. What is a river bank? It is defined as the land at either edge of a river. What is a river defined as? A large natural stream of water flowing in a channel to the sea, a lake, or another such stream. What is an electric current defined as? A stream of charged particles, such as electrons or ions, moving through an electrical conductor or space. What does electrical charge mean? It is the physical property of matter that causes it to experience a force, strength, or energy as an attribute of physical action or movement when placed in an electromagnetic field. The word force has meanings in English of coercion or compulsion, or making someone do something against their will. In our everyday language, the definition of charge applies to a price for goods or services. And making a charge on a credit card allows us to have the charges for goods and services billed in the next credit card statement to the cardholder, giving the cardholder the option of making a full payment with no interest, or carrying a finance charge determined by interest rate established by the credit card company to borrow the money, sometimes fixed and sometimes variable, with the penalty of being denied future credit based on one's credit score and history. Why all of these connections between terms used in the financial industry and terms used in electrical engineering? Is there some kind of energy harvesting going on between us and the financial system we have been operating under for the last 100 to 200 years? And are rivers actually natural? I think they are man-made, considering that I consistently find the exact same snaky S-shaped rivers all over the world, including but not limited to these rivers in Australia, Manitoba, Honduras, Louisiana, and Nova Scotia. And I find the same similarity in appearance going on with river confluences, like shown here in the states of Iowa, Missouri, and the Sudan in Africa. So to begin with making the connection of the physical infrastructure of the original civilization to a circuit board, I'm going to start with identifying the infrastructure found worldwide known as star forts, as batteries. I can make a strong case that there were 4 pairs of star forts, with each pair situated along various points of the lower and upper New York bays. Even though the physical structure of what was called Fort Gibson on Ellis Island is long buried and gone. There was Fort Hancock on Sandy Hook at the Atlantic Ocean entrance to the lower New York Bay, as Star Fort at one time, and Fort Tilden on the Rockaway Peninsula in the lower New York Bay, north of Fort Hancock and Sandy Hook. Fort Wadsworth, also known as Battery Weed, located next to the Staten Island side of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, located at the Narrows between the lower and upper New York bays, and Fort Hamilton is at the base of the Brooklyn side of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Fort Wood in the upper New York Bay is underneath the Statue of Liberty, across from Ellis Island, upon which there used to be what was called Fort Gibson. Fort J is on Governor's Island at the convergence of the Hudson and East Rivers, across from Fort Amsterdam, which was located on what is now called the Battery. One definition of a battery is a device that produces electricity that may have several primary or secondary cells arranged in parallel or series, as well as a battery source of energy, which provides a push or a voltage of energy to get the current flowing in a circuit. I think the answer to the mystery of star forts lies in this definition, that these star forts and other infrastructure I have shared that don't feature the classic look of a star fort functioned as circuitry and batteries for the purpose of producing electricity on the planetary grid system for the advanced civilization. I consistently find star forts all over the earth that are paired together in the same location or found in clusters of more than two. Lighthouses played some kind of function in concert with star forts. For all we know, star forts have a connection to star energy, and lighthouses are actual houses of light, because there is way more going on with the function of lighthouses than a tower or other structure containing a beacon light to warn or guide ships at sea. Were they in actuality drawing down the cosmic energy to charge the star fort batteries? Here are examples of New York Bay lighthouses. The Sandy Hook Lighthouse is located at the northern end of Sandy Hook at Fort Hancock, said to be the oldest working lighthouse in the United States, as we are told it was built in 1764. And other lighthouses of New York Bay include the Old Orchard Lighthouse is said to have been built in 1883 and is 3 miles south of the center of Staten Island. The West Bank Lighthouse, which serves as the front range light for the Ambrose Channel, which is used in navigation to indicate safe passage or position fixing. It is said to have been built in 1901. The Staten Island Lighthouse on Richmond Hill is the rear range light for the Ambrose Channel, a 90-foot-high or 27-meter tower said to have been built in 1912 and is 141 feet or 43 meters above sea level. The Coney Island Lighthouse on the western end of Coney Island in Seagate and situated east of the Ambrose Channel of New York Harbor. It is said to have been built in 1890. The Fort Wadsworth Lighthouse, said to have been built on top of Battery Weed in 1903. And the Statue of Liberty on top of Fort Wood even served as an operational lighthouse starting on November 22nd of 1886, a month after it was officially opened, until March 1st of 1902, when we are told it was discontinued as a navigational aid. I found the same kind of star fort lighthouse patterns occurring on the other side of the continent in San Francisco Bay. There is a star fort and lighthouse on the south end of the Golden Gate Bridge, with the Battery Boutel nearby on the Presidio grounds beside the bridge. On the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, we find Battery Spencer on the other side of the bay, right next to the bridge. And underneath the base of the Golden Gate Bridge is the Lime Point Lighthouse, said to have been built in 1883 and automated since 1961. Alcatraz Island, 1¼ miles or 2 kilometers offshore from San Francisco in San Francisco Bay, is best known as an infamous prison for troublesome prisoners. There is a lighthouse on Alcatraz Island. To put the lighthouse into the context of the historical narrative we've been given, the island of Alcatraz was said to have been given by the Mexican governor Pío Pico to Julian Workman in 1846 to build a lighthouse on it. Workman was a member of the Workman and Temple families prominent in the history of the Los Angeles area. Another thing to point out is the location of this lighthouse and Alcatraz with respect to the Golden Gate Bridge and the two lighthouses on either end of the bridge. There appears to be a triangulated relationship between the lighthouse on Alcatraz, the Fort Point light on the Presidio side of the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Lime Point light on the other side of the bridge. There is a whole series of lighthouses running throughout the San Francisco Bay. I also consistently find lighthouses with astronomical alignments, like these examples. On the Isle of Alderney, one of the Channel Islands off the coast of France, there's a triangulated relationship between the Alderney Lighthouse, Fort Quesnard, and the ruins of Fort Les Amours Florins. There is also a triangulated relationship between the islands of Bermuda and Fernando de Noronha in the Atlantic Ocean and the Channel Islands in the English Channel, three places with a high concentration of star forts for their small sizes. There are other places and regions with a high concentration of them, like they are some kind of energy nodal points on the Earth's grid system. I just want to demonstrate that there are clear relationships existing between all of this infrastructure. The Isle of Wight, just off the coast of southern England in the English Channel, has a number of star forts and lighthouses. One of them, the Needles Lighthouse, stands 109 feet or 33 meters tall on the outermost of the chalk pillars, and was said to have been built out of granite blocks in 1859 for Trinity House, the official authority for lighthouses in England, Wales, the Channel Islands, and Gibraltar. I find it interesting that the description in this photo says that the lighthouse is now flat-topped for helicopters to land. It's an active lighthouse and apparently needed underpinning work in 2010 to keep it from falling into the sea. What is described as the world's first long-distance radio signal was sent by Marconi from Alum Bay beside the Needles in the year 1897. I wonder what it was.
Hey, man, if you want to see the whole video, man, go to Michelle Gibson's page, man. I ain't your fucking dad, man, or your uncle or no shit like that, man. Just go to her page, watch the shit, man. I don't got time for this, bro. Go to Michelle Gibson. Mother, whatever. You see, circuit boarder. I'm not your father.